chief guest and other dignitaries have just commenced this program with the lamp lighting as a mark of auspiciousness and symbol of enlightenment and wisdom. As we all know what Dr. Sonawala meant to this institution, it is time to pay a floral tribute to the soul, the pious soul of Dr. Rustam Feroz Sonawala. And for this, I would request his family members and all friends who have joined us to come up on the stage as I call upon their names. First and foremost, I would request his son and daughter-in-law, Dr. Feroz Sonawala, and his wife, Mrs. Roshni Sonawala, to please come up on the stage and pay their floral tributes to Dr. R.P. Sonawala. I would next call upon his nephew, renowned urologist, Dr. Feroz Sonawala, and his wife, Dr. Arnaz Sonawala, to please come up on the stage and pay their tributes. I would now request Dr. Parveen Dadchanji and Mr. Darius Dadchanji to please come up on the stage and pay their tributes to Dr. Sonawala. We also have amongst us Dr. Ketan Parekh. May I request you, sir, to please come up on the stage. I would also request our chief guest, Dr. Vikram Patel, and his better half, Dr. Gauri Patel, to please come up on the stage to pay their tribute to late Dr. Sonawala. And of course, almost his family, his extended family. I would now request the Emeritus Chairperson, Dr. M.L. Swankar, and his wife and Vice Chairperson, Mrs. Meena Swankarji, to please come up on the stage and pay their tributes. I request the Chairperson cum Chancellor, Dr. Vikas Chandra Swankar, and his better half, Mrs. Harman Swankar, to please come up on the stage and pay their tributes to Dr. R.P. Sonawala. And I would also request the Vice Chancellor of our university, Dr. Achal Gulati, and Principal Dr. N.D. Soni to pay their tributes. And at this moment, may I request all seated in the audience also to stand at their place and pay their homage to late Dr. Sonawala. Kindly take your seats. As a gesture of our pleasure and gratitude towards our chief guest and all the guests who are present here to grace this occasion, it is time now to welcome them by a presentation of floral bouquets. And in this series, I would first and foremost request the Emeritus Chairperson and founder of our university, Dr. M.L. Swankar, and the Vice Chairperson, India Education Trust, Srimati Meena Ji Swankar, to present a floral bouquet and welcome our chief guest, Dr. Vikram Patel. I would next call upon the chairperson of our university, Dr. Vikas Chandra Swankar, and Mrs. Harman Swankar, Director, Polaris Medicare, to please come up on the stage and present a floral bouquet to welcome the renowned obstetrician and gynecologist, Dr. Firoz Sonawala. As I already mentioned, Dr. Firoz Sonawala is Dr. R.P. Sonawala's son. I would now request the Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, Dr. Achal Gulati, to present a floral bouquet and welcome Dr. Firoz Sonawala, Dr. Sonawala's nephew, and our special guest for this event. The applause should be louder. All our guests have joined us. It means a lot to all of us. I would next request the former Vice Chancellor and Chief Advisor to the Chairperson, Dr. Sudhir Sajdev, to present a floral bouquet and welcome Mrs. Roshni Sonawala. Mrs. Roshni, she is daughter-in-law of Dr. R.P. Sonawala. I would now request Dr. V.K. Kapoor, the Pro Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University, to present a bouquet and welcome the better half of Dr. Vikram Patel, Dr. Gauri Patel, who is herself a renowned pediatrician. We welcome you, ma'am. I would request the Registrar of Mahatma Gandhi University, Dr. A.K. Sharma, to present a floral bouquet and welcome Dr. Mrs. Arnaz Sonawala. Dr. Arnaz, she is an ENT specialist. I would now request the Principal of Mahatma Gandhi Dental College, Dr. Narendra Padiyar, to please come in front and present a floral bouquet and welcome our guest and renowned physician, Dr. Ketan Kumar Satish Chandra Parekh. I would request the Professor and Head Department of Psychiatry, Dr. Manju Bhaskar, to please come in front and welcome our guest, Mrs. Parveen Darais Dachanji. Mrs. Parveen is also a psychiatrist. And I would request the Medical Director and Superintendent of Mahatma Gandhi Hospital, Dr. S.S. Jaiswal, to please present a floral bouquet and welcome Mr. Daraiz Jahangir Dachanji. I think Dr. Jaiswal is not there. May I request Dr. Sudhir Sajdev sir to please welcome Dr. Jahangir Dachanji. And amongst all the doctors, he is a marine engineer. So we welcome you, sir. I would now request the chairperson cum chancellor of our university, Dr. Vikas Chandra Swankar, to formally welcome all our guests and dignitaries.
Respected Dr. Vikram Patel, Chief Guest and Orator of today's program, Dr. Feroz Sonawala, renowned obstetrician and gynecologist and son of Dr. R.P. Sonawala, Dr. M.L. Swankar, Chairperson Emeritus of Mahatma Gandhi University, Dr. Achal Gulati, Vice Chancellor of the Mahatma Gandhi University, Dr. N.D. Soni, Principal Mahatma Gandhi Medical College, Dr. Mrs. Gauri Diwan, a pediatrician and wife of Dr. Patel, Mrs. Roshni Sonawala, wife of Dr. Feroz, Dr. Mrs. Arnaz, an eminent ENT surgeon, and Dr. Feroz Sonawala, a renowned urologist and nephew of Dr. R.P. Sonawala, Dr. Mrs. Praveen Dadachanji, a psychiatrist par excellence, and Mr. Darius Dadachanji, Dr. Ketan Parekh, an anesthesiologist, esteemed dignitaries, guests, faculty members, staff, my dear students, and those watching the program online. Namaskar. I, on behalf of the Board of Management and the entire family of Mahatma Gandhi University of Medical Sciences and Technology, welcome all of you to this momentous occasion of Dr. R.P. Sonawala oration. Named after the founder chairperson of the university, Dr. R.P. Sonawala himself. Today, as we gather here in the spirit of learning, reflection, and tribute, we celebrate not only the profound legacy of a towering figure in the medical fraternity, Dr. R.P. Sonawala, but also the enduring inspiration that continues to guide and illuminate the path of modern medicine and healthcare. This oration was planned and fixed by Dr. Sonawala himself almost a year in advance. Dr. R.P. Sonawala was much more than a legendary obstetrician and gynecologist. He was a beacon of wisdom, a compassionate healer, and a visionary. To my father, Dr. M.L. Swankar, Dr. Sonawala was a teacher, mentor, and a fatherly figure. My father often spoke of the invaluable guidance and encouragement that he received from Dr. Sonawala, which became instrumental in shaping his vision in life and profession alike. Right from setting up an inauguration of Jaipur Fertility Center in the late 1980s to foundation stone laying of Mahatma Gandhi Medical College in the year 2000, Dr. Sonawala's mentorship played a monumental role. Dr. Sonawala was almost always present on all the 15th Augusts, 26th Januaries, inaugurations, convocations, and all the other important functions of the Mahatma Gandhi University in the initial 16-17 years. I am not exaggerating when I mention that if Dr. Sonawala had not been there, then possibly this institution would not have been where it stands today. He was as caring and concerned for Dr. M.L. Swankar and this university like a father is for his child. I am sure he is blessing us from wherever he is. Today, as we commemorate and honor Dr. Sonawala's legacy, we are also reminded of the void his passing has left. His recent demise is not just a loss to his family and friends, but to the entire medical community. Dr. Sonawala's achievements are numerous, but what truly defined him was his unwavering dedication to the patient-centered care and his belief in the dignity of every human being. His philosophy of medicine, deeply rooted in empathy, ethics, and excellence, continues to inspire us all. He touched lives with his humility, generosity, and unyielding commitment to improving the lives of countless women through groundbreaking medical care. If God has a wife, I am very sure that Dr. R.P. Sonawala is now the God's go-to gynecologist. We are privileged and honored to have Dr. Sonawala's family and friends with us today. I extend a heartfelt welcome to each member, particularly to his son, Dr. Firoz Sonawala, who is a distinguished obstetrician and gynecologist in Mumbai, whose work embodies the same values and principles that his father so passionately upheld. Dr. Firoz, your presence here today underscores the timeless bond between your family and ours, and we are truly grateful for it. I look forward to your continued guidance and support to the institution as you are now Dr. Sonawala for us. To the entire Sonawala family, we take immense pride with you in cherishing the remarkable legacy of Dr. R.P. Sonawala, and we are deeply honored by your presence here on this special day. The previous Dr. R.P. Sonawala orations were delivered by noteworthy and illustrious medical personalities like Dr. Farooq Udwadia, Lord Robert Winston, Dr. Praful Desai, Dr. T.E. Udwadia, Dr. Ramakant Panda, Dr. Naresh Trehan, and Dr. Sultan Pradhan. Today's oration, dedicated to Dr. R.P. Sonawala's legacy, features a luminary in the field of psychiatry and global health, Dr. Vikram Patel. It is indeed a privilege to introduce our esteemed orator, who is internationally renowned for his groundbreaking work in mental health, child development, and in addressing mental disabilities in resource-constrained settings. Dr. Patel's impressive career spans decades, during which he has transformed the way we understand and address mental health challenges worldwide. He currently serves as the Paul Farmer Professor and Chair of the Department of Global Health and Social Medicine at Harvard Medical School and is a professor in the Department of Global Health and Population at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Furthermore, he is the co-founder of Sangat Goa, an organization that has become global leader in community-based mental health programs. I will request Dr. Patel to allow us to explore as to how Mahatma Gandhi University and Sangat can collaborate in furthering the goal of Sangat in the state of Rajasthan. Dr. Patel's work exemplifies the spirit of innovation, resilience, and compassion. His dedication to bridging the gap in mental health care allows healthcare access in low-resource settings and has been globally recognized, earning him numerous accolades and respects. He has played a significant role in drafting the first national mental health policy for Government of India. His oration today, titled Rethinking Person-Centered Medicine, Lessons from My Mother, promises to offer profound insights into the intersection of medicine, humanity, and personal experience. And who is better than an Indian mother to teach a person how to be strong mentally? The theme of his lecture aligns beautifully with the values of Dr. R.P. Sonawala, championed throughout his life, placing the individual at the heart of medical care, fostering empathy, and striving for excellence in practice. Sir and ma'am, I would like to utilize this opportunity to submit a brief introduction of our university, though I understand that you have had a brief tour of the campus and the clinical facilities available in the university. Mahatma Gandhi University strives to be an institute of repute in medical education and healthcare delivery and was established by the Rajasthan State Assembly in the year 2011. The foundation stone of Mahatma Gandhi Medical College and Hospital was laid in the year 2000 by my grandparents along with Dr. Sonawala, and it evolved into a full-fledged university in 2011. Mahatma Gandhi Hospital is the NABL accredited teaching hospital of the university and is the largest private hospital in the state, having 1,450 beds. Mahatma Gandhi Hospital has been a pioneer in organ transplantation, having performed groundbreaking procedures such as the first heart transplant, first living donor and deceased donor liver transplant, first pancreas transplant, and first cadaveric kidney transplant in Rajasthan. With more than 2,400 successful transplants to its credit over the past 10 years, including live-related donor liver transplant, Mahatma Gandhi Hospital's digestive sciences and renal transplantation teams have set benchmarks in clinical excellence. Shri Ram Cancer and Super Speciality Center, affiliated with the Mahatma Gandhi University, stands as the state's largest multidisciplinary oncology facility equipped with cutting-edge technology like robotic surgery, CyberKnife, radio stereotactic surgery, linear accelerators, 3 Tesla MRI scans, PET scans, to name a few, and all the services are being managed by the eminent faculty in their field. The center's comprehensive services include advanced radiation oncology, bone marrow transplantation, and a state-of-the-art blood bank that has been accredited by American Association of Blood Banking and NABH. Similarly, the Center for Neurosciences and Cardiac Sciences, led by very competent doctors, performs complex procedures using the latest equipment, further enhancing Mahatma Gandhi University's reputation as a hub for advanced medical care and training. With recognition from National Medical Commission and Government of India, the university offers a diverse range of undergraduate, postgraduate, and super specialty curricula, attracting students seeking quality education and healthcare professionals who are committed to excellence in learning. Through partnerships with the state healthcare schemes, the university ensures that there is a universal access to high quality healthcare, emphasizing a commitment to service, quality, and patient-centered care. We look forward to Dr. Patel's oration, which will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and inspire us to think beyond the conventional paradigms when it comes to mental health. As we proceed with today's program, let us take a moment to reflect on the values and principles that have brought us together. Let us honor the extraordinary legacy of Dr. R.P. Sonawala by committing ourselves to empathy, compassion, and striving for excellence through continuous learning. To the Dr. Sonawala family, Dr. Patel, and all our esteemed guests, faculty, and students, I extend my gratitude for being a part of this event, for honoring the memory
Dr. Vikram Patel. Dr. Patel, the Paul Farmer Professor and Chair at the Department of Global Health and Social Medicine at the Harvard Medical School, Boston, USA, and Professor of Department Global Health and Population at the Harvard Chan School of Public Health. We welcome him with us today, 24th January 25, Professor Vikram Patel, who will deliver today's prestigious Dr. R.P. Soonawala Oration 2025 before us on a subject which intrigues all healthcare professionals across the globe. Person-centered medicine is the topic. That is, caring for patients as individuals and as equal partners in the science of healing. It is the personalized, coordinated, enabling healthcare model that focuses on patients' health and well-being and their own role in their own care. A process which is being overlooked today but remains the center stage of what medicine should actually be. On this day, we welcome you, sir. On a personal note, both Dr. Vikram Patel and me share a common alma mater, the Goa Medical College. We have been there at some times in our lives, albeit in different capacities, in some capacities at different times. We are fortunate to have you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, today, Dr. Patel has been invited to deliver the Dr. R.P. Soonawala Oration on this 24th day of the first month, circa 2025. I would read his citation, and before that, I would request him to please occupy the center chair over here. Chairman Emeritus, Dr. M.L. Swankar, Chairperson, Dr. Vikas Swankar, please be at his side, sir. His citation for today's oration reads as, "This honor is presented by the Chairperson cum Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, members of the Board of Management of the University, and Dr. M.L. Swankar, Emeritus Chairperson, Mahatma Gandhi University of Medical Science and Technology, to Dr. Vikram Patel, the Paul Farmer Professor and Chair, Department of Global Health and Social Medicine, Harvard Medical School, Boston, USA, and the Professor of Global Health and Population, Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, co-founder of the member of the Managing Committee, Sangat, Goa, for delivering the Rustam Feroz Soonawala Oration 2025 on the topic, Rethinking Person-Centered Medicine, Lessons from My Mother. Dr. Vikram Patel, born on 5th May 1964, an Indian psychiatrist and researcher, best known for his work on child development and mental disability in low-resource settings. He is the co-founder and former director of the Center for Global Mental Health at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, co-director of the Center for Control of Chronic Conditions at the Public Health Foundation of India, and the co-founder of Sangat, an Indian NGO dedicated to research in the areas of child development, adolescent health, and mental health. Since 2024, Dr. Vikram Patel has been the Paul Farmer Professor and Chair at the Department of Global Health and Social Medicine at the Harvard Medical School in Boston. Dr. Patel graduated from the University of Mumbai in 1987, did his MSc from the University of Oxford in 1989, the member of the Royal College of Psychiatrists from the Royal College of Psychiatrists in the UK, PhD from the University of London in 1997. Dr. Patel has worked in various disciplines, including global mental health, epidemiology, medicine, psychology, disability, neurological diseases, non-communicable diseases, public health, substance abuse, economic evaluation, and implementation research. He also currently serves on 4 Government of India committees, namely the Mental Health Policy Group, the National Rural Health Mission Abha Mentoring Group, the National Human Rights Commission Core Committee on Health, and the Technical Advisory Group of Rashtriya Kishore Swasth Karyakram. He is currently the Joint Director of the Center of Chronic Conditions and Injuries at the Public Health Foundation of India, New Delhi, and serves on 3 WHO committees, namely the Mental Health, Maternal and Child Health, Adolescent Health, and EMRO Mental Health. In 1997, he and several colleagues founded the Sangat, a mental health research NGO located in Goa that works with the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine on subjects focusing on child development, adolescent health, and mental health. In 2008, Sangat won the MacArthur Foundation's International Prize for Creative and Effective Institutions. Sangat has been ranked amongst India's leading public health research institutions. Dr. Patel has served as an editor for several major medical publications, including the influential Lancet series on global mental health, the PLOS Medicine series on packages of care for mental disorders, and the series on global mental health practices, the International Journal of Epidemiology series on global mental health and psychiatric epidemiology, and 2 Oxford University Press textbooks on global mental health. In 2007, he played a role in setting up the Movement for Global Mental Health. The movement has grown to over 10,000 people working over 200 institutions across the globe. In 2003, he wrote a book, Where There Is No Psychiatrist, a mental health care manual which has been translated into 15 different languages. Dr. Patel is also engaged in educating people on the nature and importance of global mental health. He has established Sangat's Masters in Global Mental Health program, which is run jointly by the Institution of Psychiatry, London. He trains members of the community to give them mental health interventions and empowering ordinary people for each other. Dr. Patel has published over 250 peer-reviewed scientific articles, mainly in the field of epidemiology and socioeconomic determinants and treatment of mental disorders in impoverished regions in India and other resource-poor settings. Dr. Patel has won numerous awards, including the Chalmers Medal, the Royal Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene UK in 2009, the Sarnat Prize of Mental Health by the Institute of Medicine in USA, the Wellcome Trust Principal Research Fellowship in Clinical Science, the Honorary Doctorate from the Georgetown University, the Chanchliani Global Health Research Award in 2016, and the Canada Garnier Global Health Award. He was elected the Fellow of the Academy of Medical Sciences in 2009. He has been listed in Times 100 as one of the most influential people in the year 2015. This citation signed by Dr. Vikas Chandra Swarnkar, Chairperson cum Chancellor, and Dr. Achal Gulati, Vice Chancellor of the Mahatma Gandhi University of Medical Science and Technology. Sir, may I now invite Dr. Vikram Patel to deliver his oration today.
Thank you so much, Professor Gulati, for that really wonderful introduction. Definitely one of the most evocative introductions I've ever received in my career. Namaskar, friends. I was so much looking forward to delivering this oration in the presence of Dr. R.P. Soonawala, or RPS, as he was so fondly called by his students, his colleagues, and maybe also his family. But fate had other plans. I was looking forward to meeting him today, not only because he is such a formidable figure in medicine, an inspiration for all of us who were students in Bombay when he was a teacher, but also because of the very personal reason that he landed up in the labor room at just the right moment when our son was born. And I also want to acknowledge my dear friend Ketan Parekh, who was the anesthetist, who was part of the delivery team. That is a very special personal connection. I agree with previous speakers who have remarked that even though, sadly, RPS is no longer with us in person, he is almost certainly watching this event in spirit. And I say that not only because of his incredible love and affection for this hospital, this university, but also his personal affection for Dr. Mohan Swarnkar. My lecture, when I was thinking about what talk I would give today, as you've heard, a lot of my work has been around mental health, but there's an aspect of my work that perhaps is much less known, and that is about the kind of healthcare that we're delivering in this country today. And it's going to focus really on that. The kind of healthcare that each and every one of us would like to see happen. The kind of healthcare that all the people of this country are entitled to receive. The kind of healthcare they deserve. And what I plan to do is to begin by charting what is in fact the current system of healthcare by evoking the story of my beloved mother through her own journey of more than 20 years of struggling with her own health. To demonstrate through a large body of science, what is currently happening in India, and most importantly, to end with the aspirations and the opportunities on how we can completely reimagine our healthcare system by making it more person-centered. Let us first remember that India's healthcare system was designed more than 75 years ago at the time of independence to largely be focused on acute health problems, particularly infectious diseases. Yet today, by and large, the most common reasons that will afflict each and every one of us at some point in our lives are not acute infectious diseases, but chronic diseases. And today, as I was touring this remarkable campus, I couldn't help noticing how much of what we saw was in fact devoted to the care of chronic conditions like cancer and heart disease. And to that, I will also add brain disorders and chronic disabilities. In fact, these conditions are today the leading causes of death and disability, not only in developed countries, but in fact in India too. Heart disease and diabetes and a variety of other chronic conditions are killing more than 5 million Indians every single year, completely eclipsing all other acute and infectious causes of death. Now, chronic conditions, of course, have been around for decades. But to be fair, there has been mostly work on management of chronic diseases in developed countries. We need to remember that in all countries of the world, these conditions do not occur in isolation. This large study that was run by the World Health Organization shows that not only 50% of all adult Indians are currently living with at least one chronic disease, typically most commonly hypertension or diabetes, but in fact, half of those are living with multiple chronic conditions, and it's important to keep this in mind. And amongst those multiple conditions are often the coexistence of a range of physical health problems alongside mental health problems. Now, about 20 years ago, when genomic medicine was heralded, there was a lot of excitement, as is shown in this particular commentary in the journal Nature by Francis Collins, who was the then director of the National Institute of Health, that genomic medicine would transform our approach to chronic diseases. In brief, genomic medicine or personalized medicine was about the use of fundamental characteristics of each of us, our biological characteristics, particularly our genetic makeup, to provide precision medicine, medicine that could be targeted not to the disease, but to the individual's genetic makeup, which is why it was called personalized medicine. This became the rage when I was a medical student. Well, not when I was a medical student, much after. The excitement came because there were some dramatic discoveries on the genomic origins, particularly of certain kinds of cancer. And by far and away, the most important one was breast cancer. There was no doubt that those discoveries were transforming our approach to breast cancer by making it personalized to the genetic characteristics of the cancer. Unfortunately, though, the truth is that there has been very little translation of this genomic revolution to most other chronic diseases. And the reason is that most chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and mental health problems do not have a simple causation. Our genetics interacts profoundly with our social, cultural, and economic environments to actually lead to these different conditions. And I fear that that genomic revolution will have limits when we think about personal-centered care for chronic conditions. So in my talk, when I use the word person-centered care, I'm not actually referring to our biological makeup. What I'm really referring to is the kind of care that you and I want when we are struggling with a chronic condition. It's the kind of care our family members deserve when they are struggling with a chronic condition. It's the kind of care that the World Health Organization has embraced in its policies as person-centered and integrated care. And I'm now going to use the story of my mother to describe whether or not the way the healthcare system currently responds to chronic diseases comes anywhere close to those ideas, those principles of person-centered care. This is based on a piece I wrote in the Lancet in the Art of Medicine column about 10 years ago. My mother was born in 1936. She was married